We are about to start the final four match. You see the overlay has changed on the top. That is because we're now counting map wins.
Yes.
And not
they have
just
to
round
get
wins.
4 points and win the entire map to get that 1 point out of 2 to get in that top 2.
And we're starting on bolt holes here, picked by Tween. He had the 6-lap world record here for a couple of steps a couple of weeks ago. Now we're in 1 lap, and he hasn't really shown us as his strongest map. It's not one we thought he would go for.
I was surprised, yeah.
But we see him pick it, and now we want to see why he picked it, don't we? We want to see
Yes.
what was behind this out of the maps he could have gone for, because he does not have his trusted launch pad where he was really good in this field right now.
Yes, it was a surprising pick, but maybe it is because he's seen that a lot of people are not that consistent on this map. So maybe he thinks they will not be able to get all those 4 points that is needed.
Yeah, true indeed, and it's a longer match, of course, than before. With that into account, we see some mistakes. Binkss and Bren slightly off on the quarter pipe jump. Spam versus Tween here into the dirt, and here Tween with more speed. Wider jump by Spam, they're gonna land a bit earlier and get an early dive into the grass turn. That might give him more speed towards the full speed part, but no, Tween actually extending before the 3 bolt hole jumps, the identity in the ending here. Can he hold the lead?
Maybe Tween will really show why he picked this map and get the first point.
Depends on this jump right here. The diagonal setup, he hits the roof. That looked bad, but it's actually good. It pushed him down. He lands earlier, and he has more speed than Spam. Spam can do nothing but hope that Tween misses, but he's steady as a sniper, and Tween takes the first round.
It was a close one. He did actually hit the bolt, and like you could be sent right out when you hit the bolt, but luckily for Tween, it actually helped him to get the first point.
Yeah, that is advanced. I mean, players did see this before the 6-lappers. They talked about it like, haha, you could reduce airtime. You could crash every single lap there. I think Tween got it on accident because he was a little too fast. But he's like, you know what? Happy little accidents, baby. I'll take that. And that's a point. The first one goes to him on his choice, and it's a good time too. Second time, Spam has crashed, Bren has crashed, and he finds himself on the victory march again.
Oh.
If he can beat Binkss here, that would be 2 in a row.
That would probably feel great.
Oh, it would.
Oh,
it really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tween here is looking for the beach once again, but Binkss is a little too far ahead. It won't be the speed run that we saw in the top 6 match. Binkss here could hold. It's only 0.4.
We never know what happens. Bink can make a mistake. We have seen that this ending identity is very easy to do mistakes on.
It is easy to do mistakes. It's not easy to survive. Tween with the diagonal jump. And he tries, but he will, not succeed. Binkss there a bit. Okay.
That was so close to not getting into the
You
finish.
mentioned that there might be mistakes in the ending, and there almost was. Oh, imagine how that's gonna hurt. Everyone crashes. You have the win in your hands, and then you fumble the bag. He luckily got the car across the line, and that's what matters. Binkss with a point to his name.
Oh, that was barely. So many mistakes on this point. It looks like people are like the pressure is getting to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know here that if you don't win, you're suddenly on the back foot, and I think especially for Tween, highest pressure wall, he picked this map.
Yeah.
If you waste the map you pick, it's kind of like, what do? You know, they have practiced all the maps, but this is the one you fancied your chances best on, and then that's out of it already, you know? So Spam here now, he did not crash this round. Great pace by him, but the others are within range. It's only 900ths of a second. Now make it 10. Spam though, we know that this turn here, he goes a little bit higher on the grass to get more speed towards the penalty grass. And if he got that wall, he should extend. But Binkss is holding on. Tween has hit the wall. It is a 1 versus 1. Binkss actually the diagonal jump. Binkss has more speed here. This could be Binkss's win. Spam just has to hope it's enough to hold, and Binkss has to release. He could not make that full speed. So Spam will get saved by that. And Spam wins this round.
Oh, wow. Almost 1 point each. Bren is actually the only one that hasn't gotten a point yet. Hopefully, he might get it this run.
Yeah.
Imagine if everybody just like 1 point, 1 point,
2
1
points,
point.
3 points. Yeah. If Binkss got that middle jump, he probably would have won the round over Spam.
He had a lot of speed there.
He just had to hit the panic brakes because there was no way he was going to survive. And now he's failed at ending twice almost, you know? He crashed the finish there. He almost crashed it last time. What does that do to your mental? Going into the third one, as you're feeling a little shaky all over here. Bren in the lead ahead of Tween now.
I feel like this map really shows how much the ending counts.
Bren into the wall, down into last. The middle part is what crumbled here for Bren now. And suddenly Tween is in the lead here despite a little bit of a slower round.
This is a map where people do a lot of mistakes, it seems. And we're coming up to the last part, the identity, which is also the most crucial part of this map.
Let's see the diagonal jump here. They're going to set up all the way from the right, tilt to the left. That will give you less airtime. They have equal speed. They are having equal lines. Tween's going to land a little bit earlier, though. Wider setup for the jump. Oh, my God. 100th of a second in the favor of Binkss, who wins that round. And this time, he does not fail the ending, and he takes it by a hair.
They were basically side by side through the entire last part, and barely Binkss took it in the end. Tween must really want those points now. It was his map pick.
And the decider there, the finish is angled a bit left, you know, it's not a straight walk. Since Binkss jumped to the left in the ending, he actually crossed the line sooner. And Tween took a wider line, and that's why he lost. So Binkss there really just optimizing everything, and that's where he gets the decisive difference. Here though, everyone a bit shaky again. Spam, big lead here. And Bren, he's coming up to the party crashed. Usually when you make a mistake in a match, you want the next round to try to do that part even better, to just get that out of your system. Here, Bren, beautiful exit on the dirt, and he overcomes that part like he wanted to, and the difference is not big enough to decide this round.
No, Spam is very much in the lead here, but it doesn't look like Bren is gonna give him that point without a fight. Can Bren actually get his first point now? It's all in the final, losing a bit of speed.
Oh, it looks like Spam did that jump pretty well. Binkss is coming closer, but this might be too much speed. Binkss might have to release in the ending. He's going for that early turn, though. But as predicted, he was a little too fast.
He tried to keep as much speed as possible, but it was too much and ended up hitting the top of the finish. Spam getting his second point.
That's a first world problem in Trackmania. You're too fast.
Yeah.
I don't think this is one that a lot of people are like, oh, you're too fast. It happens for the pros sometimes. You drive too well, and the mappers haven't predicted that you can get that fast. But like we see with that right to left jump, they land so early that they can really just squeeze out too much speed to that part.
Yes, and we see Tween fell behind on the last run. But it seems like he's catching up very high in that jump though, but getting a lot of speed out of it. Binkss with a little shaky landing.
Yeah, he went too low, but in some way, the airtime reduction also makes up for that mistake. So, oh, that's a big crash. Tween not going in between the walls, rather right into it. And now, Bren versus Binkss. French battle for this one. Binkss with 2 points. Bren yet to score one. He's in last right now on bolt holes.
Bren must be very desperate now for that 1 point. It's very scary if you fall too far behind here. Can he get...
Oh, he got the roof hit, but Binkss has the lead here. Bren actually lost speed from that one. Binkss, though, is he too fast again? Is he going to get the last jump? He is going to release appropriately, and Binkss, third win here. Binkss is finalist on the first map.
Ooh, that must feel great for Binkss. I don't envy Bren's situation right now. He must feel a little desperate. But, as we've seen, it's never too late to get those points.
Yeah, and the thing here too is it's only the map, right? So it's not over for the other players. If you win one map, you are halfway to the finalists, to the finals. So Binkss here, he needs one more to win the first map, then he has to win another map later on. But this is a great start to close out a map. You'll feel very confident, and well, if you can't go to the beaches in Slovakia, maybe there's a beach in France nearby that you can chill on, but it's not over yet. Binkss still has to win one more round, and this one, it's looking like he isn't gonna win. It's between bren and tween right now. And it's still between bren and tween.
They're just driving great.
Yeah, they really are.
I have nothing to say. They're just driving so well.
Should we just enjoy this for a moment?
Yeah, just let's enjoy their speed.
Yeah, the car's just dancing, weaving through. It really doesn't need to be said more than that, but let's see now the 3 jumps once again. We know bren has crashed in the previous round. Here, tween actually tiny bit more speed, but bren landing early. Bren should be able to hold. Tween trying though. Tween getting dangerously close. But it is bren who wins with a 1:18.17.
Finally, he gets that 1 point. Oh, it must feel great, doesn't it?
It surely must, but...
Finally breathing. Yes, he finally got a chance to like, yes.
Finally he could blink, tears rolling down his cheeks. First blink of the match for bren.
Thank God.
Now we go again, eyes wide open, as you have another 78 seconds, 1 minute 18 of driving before we... Oh, it's actually 88 seconds, if I'm not wrong. No, that's wrong.
Can we get a blink for bren, chat? Can we get a blink for bren so we can save his eyeballs?
Probably drying out. Spam now taking time to blink in this round as the other 3 players are staring down the straight towards the finish. One more win here for Binkss would give him the map, would put us onto map number 2. Here though, bren trying to hold on. One car length ahead. It was the same battle as we saw 2 rounds ago, and that one, Binkss won. Now bren, can he win again? The last jumps, we know they decided all.
They are the scariest part. Setting up wide, keeping as much speed as you can.
Binkss might have much speed.
Binkss have a lot of speed.
Yeah, he might be too fast. Oh, but he has release here. It should be bren.
He hits the wall, and bren takes his 2nd point. Going past tween, actually, that shows that even if you start to get later points, you still have a very good chance of getting that map.
And not only is bren winning here, but he's winning with fast times. The pace here, the 1:18.1s, they are faster than the winning times we saw previously. Bren was driving very close to the world record. Now he's out of there, and the question is, Binkss now, he is the 2nd fastest player remaining. He has been consistently the 2nd fastest. Behind bren, it's up for the others to try to deny him.
Yes, can Binkss actually get that win now? He has the finalist tag, and he really wants that one last win to secure himself that point.
And let's not forget tween. This was his map pick.
It was.
In last place, 1 point out of the first 8 rounds here. So not working out for him as well as we saw with Launchpad or the likes of that. Here in 3rd again, it's quite a ways up to 1st. And we know Binkss has a good ending most of the time. Spam here though, laying in the way, just hoping there will be some opportunity to strike in the end. Let's take a look here, going for the wide setup to tilt the car to the left. Try to land here in the gap. Binkss has touched, and he will lose enough speed that Spam is going to win here with a 1:18.23. 3rd point. Spam is now finalist.
We have 2 finalists, and there's only one one of them.
Only one winner. Then we go next map.
Yes. So with 2 finalists now, it's even more head to head, because the other one will not get another chance. They will lose all their points for the next map.
Yeah, you could win 3 rounds and it's all for nothing if you don't win the 4th. That's what's so crushing about this. You need 4 round wins to secure yourself just a map, and then you need 2 maps to win. So yes, we are going to be here for a while, but that is not something that I have anything against, because this is a pleasure to watch. Trackmania at its finest. I do love Trackmania esports.
I feel like it's such a big difference when you see the 1-lappers compared to the 6-lappers. It's so intense. It's all in that one single minute of what happens, and it's over and over again. You have to be consistent every single round.
You do have to be so consistent, and I mean, look at the split. It's 1,000th of a second between Binkss and Spam. It doesn't really get closer. Now equalizing here with Binkss having more speed towards the finish. Last time it was the same situation, but he crashed here. This time Spam crashes, and now Binkss on the victory stretch here. One more jump for Binkss to win map 1. Will almost fail, but he makes it. Binkss, I think he's gonna take a bit of a deep breath there.
Yes,
Finally,
he can both breathe and blink. Maybe take a cold shower. No, I don't think he has time for that.
We're going right back into it. Binkss has time to blink though.
No breaks for these players right now. It's right on to the next map.
Right on to Pool Party, picked by Bren, who was the second qualifier into the top 4. He got the second map pick. He chose this one. And although he chose this one, you are pretty much level with your opponents here. It's hard to find any meaningful difference.
We've seen they've been very close on this map all the way up to here. So it's just a matter of pace and who can keep the most speed in every single turn.
Like, what you gotta think about is, let's say this map has 10 turns and you lose just 200ths of a second in each turn. That's pulling to the finish line, right? And this is what it's about. It's about those fine movements, those tiny differences, but you also gotta avoid the big crashes, Spam into the hole. That is not where you wanna go. You wanna stay on the road here like the others are doing, but Bren already building up a big lead for Pool Party to be.
Oh yes, he had a little bit of a slow start in the previous map, but can he show that he can get that top 2? As both of us predicted, actually.
We both have Spam in the top 2, much in part to his experience. Spam, if you don't know, one of the most veteran players in the Trackmania esports scene. He won the World Championship almost 10 years ago now, 2012.
Oh wow, yeah, he played for a long time.
And then you have players like Binkss who are new to the scene, but let's see if Bren can hold the lead here in the first round through the poles. This looks scary, but the players know the movement. It's like a practiced piece of a dance almost in the poles there, Bren, with a 1-0.
It's so tight, and we haven't seen too many touches of the poles in the ending there, but in previous steps, there has been a lot of hitting of poles.
Yeah, but it really is a rhythm. Like, it's like a rhythm game or a song, right? Like, once you know the notes you have to play and how long you have to play them, you can think about that rhythm. And if you hit it, you will be fine. But if you're just a little bit off, if the pressure gets you, if you hesitate, that's when you make a mistake, and that's when you crash out.
It's so easy to just do a tiny mistake there and go straight into the pole.
So you'll see it here. It's right, left, tiny right, left through the poles. But then in the second one, it's even more intense because that's where the freewheeling is, and you want to push for even more speed.
Yes, because if you release a little bit too much in the freewheeling to be more safe through the poles, you lose so much speed.
It's really a game of you want to give yourself the worst possible experience. You just want to go super close to the walls, have way too much speed, just hold on to the wheel, monka steer all the way through, and hope you make it. Let's see Tween versus Binkss here. Tween has to gain a 10th in the ending. He's going to try exactly that. Wide setup here. Try to do as much speed as possible in between the pillars. Binkss is going to stay ahead. It's not going to crash, and Binkss takes that round now, 1-1, matching Bren.
And Binkss only need to win this map as well, and he will secure himself a spot in the top 2. Can we see Tween clutch it though? He had the last map was his pick and he didn't do too well. Maybe the pressure is getting to him, or maybe he can really show why he should be in the top 2.
Yeah, his fingers might be a bit cold after swimming at the beaches in Slovakia before this match, leading up to it. the cold shower might not have helped Tween here in the preparation for the top 4 match, but he is going to try regardless his best to stay level with the others. Here though, a little bit behind Binkss, who now is perhaps sensing victory. We did not account for him in the top 2 in our predictions, but
no.
Binkss, to tell you a little bit about him, the young player from France, he's 18 years old, plays on a laptop keyboard versus other players. You might think a racing game, you need a sim racing wheel with 3 monitors, pedals, force feedback steering wheel. No. Binkss here on his laptop keyboard with a sharp jawline is looking for this round win, but there are 2 equally good players behind him. Tween closing in, but will have less speed towards the finish. Can Binkss hold this together? Tap, 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 and away you go. Binkss now 2 round wins on Pool Party.
Oh, Binkss is actually getting closer and closer to take that 1 spot into final 2. It must feel great to secure that first place and don't have to feel the pressure of getting the last place.
Yes, indeed. Here though, Binkss, just 2 rounds to go. The others do have zeros right now. Spam without a round win, Tween without a round win. And I mean, bren here, his map pick, he's being challenged right now. Binkss has shown that he can drive low 116. The world record a 116.095 by Mutta, and they're driving within 0.2 of that.
Wow, that just shows how fast paced they have to be every single round to actually keep up with the others.
You really can't slip, and it comes down to, for example, this turn here, to go as wide as possible, to use all the space towards the wall there so that the car builds speed. You want to steer as little as possible on the dirt. And here Tween, you see he's just a little bit faster. He's gonna reel in Binkss in first, and here into the next turn they are even, but Tween with an early dive here gets the lead. Binkss now losing a little bit of ground, still within reach, but this could be where Tween wakes up from the frozen beaches of Slovakia towards the finish. Has a chance now.
Does he get his first point? He almost didn't get into the finish there, but he did secure himself his first point, and he's now keeping up with everyone else. We just need Spam to get 1 single point now. He is the one furthest in the back.
But at the same time, I don't know if even Spam thinks he has a chance here. Like, this is one thing that Spam has had some struggles with, is just these raw pace maps where it's so hard to make that difference. You have to drive 116.2 to win each round. That might be on level with his personal best. Spam is a player that's more, I think, well-rounded on the consistency maps, like Poolside. But here on these raw pace maps, the young players like Binkss just are risking more, I think.
And yes, you can just imagine people that get world record, they try and try, fail and get that 1 run that is super fast. But these guys have to drive world record pace consistently every single round.
Yeah, not really holding much back, not leaving much room to your personal best, that's for sure. bren here on his map of choice with round 1 already, looking for the second. Binkss though catching up. It's gonna be a 3-way battle. Who has the most speed here? Before the freewheeling, it is bren side by side with Binkss.
Oh, that was so close.
Oh my, it's 1/100th of a second.
Wow, now bren got his second point. We have 2 people that can get finalist mode right now.
Yes, we can, and I'm sure they want that
yes,
as well. Really, all 3 here, Binkss, bren, and Tween, have shown they can keep the pace, but let's take a look at Spam this round. How does he keep up? Binkss has crashed. There's only 1 player in his way, and that is Tween, who is already 2 tenths of a second ahead.
Will Spam actually get his first point on this map? I imagine he really wants it. Both people with 2 points has fallen quite far behind, and it's between Tween and Spam.
Oh, Spam there, maybe a little bit too much inside on the grass. Here though, is he too wide? Oh, that's a little bit less speed than Tween, and he will extend here. This is gonna cost Spam a lot for Pool Party to be. How much is the split? It's 0.21 that Tween has in his advantage. This is something Spam would catch up to pretty much any player in the world. But Tween, one of the greatest, is gonna hold this lead as best as he can in between the pillars. Now the final drift, Spam looks like he is about par with Tween on speed. And Tween now just has to not crash to secure his second win. There you go, Tween. 2 wins here on Pool Party.
Spam now, the only one that doesn't have 2 points. He must really feel the pressure. But maybe the pressure is helping and he's really focusing to get that first point.
I think what Spam might be hoping for here is that, okay, as long as it isn't Binkss, right? Binkss has a map win. As long as it isn't Binkss,
yes,
then the match continues. And Spam has 2 really good maps from coming up, being Poolside and also Icy Snake. 2 of his greatest maps
that
are
is
coming
true.
up later. So if Spam can just hold on here, and maybe he could hope that bren wins or Tween wins to deny Binkss the first final spot.
Oh yeah. Like, I imagine Spam is just waiting for those maps that he knows he can dominate in.
Yeah, but here the speed, again, so important. Out of the dirt, Tween looks like he's closing in on Binkss here. More speed there, and he will make it dead even once again. They are exactly even here. Tween, more speed, and Binkss, I think, went on the inside, touched the wall. Tween might be the first finalist here, as Binkss is 0.6 behind, and we know we're talking about 0.2 being a lot. This is a massive gap. This is almost a knockout with everyone crashing, so
Tween only needs to get clean into that finish and he will secure himself the finalist. He was behind Binkss and bren just a couple of rounds ago. Look how much it can change. He's the first finalist now. He can get this map win. Must feel great after losing on his own map choice.
Yeah, he caught it big time. And 1 round away, that's all it takes to get the full map win. But we know, you could win 3 rounds, it could all be for nothing if someone else wins 4. That's what's so difficult about this. So where will he try to gain it here? Binkss with a better line in that drift. Now up in first. Wider setup, look at how wide he goes. This is to use all the space on the platform, and then with the speed into the grass, he will try to get even further ahead. Want to make sure not to go too much on the inside here, or you get airtime. They're just barely lifting a little bit there, almost flying off. Great speed by Tween though to put him into second, but will he catch up to Binkss? It doesn't look like he can get the gap he did last time, and Binkss will have a slight lead. Might avoid the crash this time. He will indeed. And now this is anyone's game before the ending. Who will take this one? Will Tween win, or will Binkss deny him here?
People are really close this round. This can pretty much go to anyone. Tween is taking the lead here, though. He needs it very fast.
Oh, Binkss with more speed. Binkss might take it.
So good. Oh.
Binkss ahead of Tween, ahead of bren. All 3 within 3/100ths of a second. And all 3 within just 2/10 of the world record. It is 2 finalists right now. And
no.
Yeah,
probably every player don't want Binkss to get that second point, because that will secure him a space in the top 2.
Yeah, if Binkss wins now, he's in the finals. He's in the top 2. And there will only be 1 spot remaining after that. I'm on the edge of my seat here as we go into this round. Everything could be decided here because Binkss is so fast in the start. Just look at the difference. 0.25 to Spam. That might put Spam out of this round already. Just on pace alone, Binkss using all the space again, and they are driving extremely fast now. This is very difficult to keep up with. Tween has DNF'd. It is only bren to try to deny Binkss, or else Binkss will go to the final 2, the next match. Can bren deny it here? Binkss is gonna try everything he can right now to close it out on bren's map choice while he has the chance. It's 2/100ths of a second before they go dive into the dirt. How low are you gonna go? It's a game of limbo. Bren going the lowest gets the best exit. He will get the reward for the risk he took. Binkss with a better drift though. Between the poles, he keeps the grip just barely. Bren on the back foot. Binkss has a chance to close this out for the top 2. Just needs to avoid all the pillars across the freewheeling, and he'll take it. 1:16.16. That is 7/100ths behind the world record. And Binkss, well deservedly, goes to the final.
Binkss has really shown that he deserves that first finalist
I don't
place.
think anyone can say otherwise.
No, he drove
masterful.
so well. Wow.
That was absolute class from Binkss.
You could see Bren just falling apart on the end there. The stress must really have gotten to him, and Binkss actually takes it.
It's just like he drove 116.2.3.1 every round there in the ending.
He was so consistently fast. Like, wow. It's now just one more spot.
And I think this not only impresses like the people in the final chance, I think the people who are in the finals next weekend, seeing a performance like that are probably going to be a bit scared, because Binkss right there, that was insane. We are going on to Poolside. This map picked by Spam, no surprise there.
Yeah.
This really is Spam's map, and knowing how the first two maps went, he has to perform here. This is his chance. This is his best chance at going to the finals. He
has probably just sat and waited for this moment where he can really show like what he's made of, how fast he can drive.
And it really is all in the ending here for Spam. His start is pretty good, but the ending lines is where he makes up the most time. We see Bren falling a bit behind Spam, hitting the wall here on this first round though. And he will not get safely to the end where he could win it out. So Tween in the first now by 0.3 of a second. We'll see the different water lines here. Some players choose to slide in this turn. Some players choose to no slide. You see Bren and Tween going for the same approach here. That means they're going to go on the right of the pillar. At least Bren is. Tween going on the left. And now a wide setup before the water. Bren actually might catch us up. Better speed before the final two turns. Is Bren going to come back here? He's almost having it in his pocket between with a little bit more speed. It's 100, just about 9 thousandths of a second.
They were side by side there. You couldn't see who it was, but it was just slightly going to Tween.
That's about half a spoiler. Just like think if you cut your hair that day and you had a little bit less air resistance, maybe that was the deciding factor.
That's what you call a photo finish.
Really? Just literally, that is what it is. Yeah, you had to.
Hopefully Spam doesn't lose too much faith in himself on this one. It is his pick. He's probably expecting a lot from himself right now, but it was only the first round. They still have a lot of rounds to go. They have to get 4 points to win this map. It seems like Tween is falling a little bit behind as well, but Bren is holding a very steady pace.
But Spam has gotten half the job done. He's gotten to the ending, and here we will see him go for this left side approach. And this is where he might be able to gain it, but no, it's a second mistake. Spam trying to land too early on the platform. Tween though, with this outside approach, that does give you more dry tires, and Bren has disappeared like a magician, but he is not going to resurface. It will be Tween with 2 quick ones.
He tried to do the risky line and drove right into the wall. So Tween got another point. A great start for Tween. Maybe he can get the next point as well and is the first finalist. Spam must really feel the pressure on this one. He is trying to risk it all, but risking a little too much maybe.
Yeah, and like his chance is disappearing quickly because Bren and Tween are not trading rounds. It's Tween right now with 2 quick wins, and if he gets 2 more, that's the map. That's his chance gone. So, and then he'll have to face off Bren and Tween on Poolside, and it could get messy. So, on Icy Snake. So it could get really messy. This is his chance here. This is his best chance. He can, of course, put up a fight, but right now is when it matters. Spam has to try to perform and not crash before the ending. That might be where he can gain this 0.1 deficit against Bren.
He has shown to be very fast on this map, especially in the ending, but it seems like he's taking a little bit riskier lines than everybody else. Maybe it pays off now though. A lot more speed going on the outside line, less airtime. Can he take the risky line here? So close to the pole, losing grip. No! Bren is very much in the lead though. He just have to have a clean ending, and he hits the wall. Tween gets his 3rd point.
That is a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen, for Tween. He's finalist with the other 2 on 0. You can't really ask for more here. Tween has gotten 2 wins.
The ending there, people just falling away. Tween was in the back in the ending there, but just these tiny mistakes makes everybody just lose the grip on the plastic. And nobody else has points.
Yeah,
and Tween is a finalist.
He could lose upwards of 6 rounds and still win. And now with Spam going flying, it is a 1 versus 1. Will Tween take his first map on his way to the finals? Binkss already qualified, winning the first 2 maps, but here bren is gonna try to deny it. Spam, all he can really do is hope that bren denies Tween and gives him another chance, because this is Spam's map. This is what we know to be Spam's map, and his chance on it is about to slip away because Tween is not letting this lead go away. He's holding his own against bren with only a couple of turns to go. Bren crashing out, and Tween with another golden ticket, and this one might send him halfway to the finals because Tween is just gonna take these turns nice and easy. That is going to be it. GG on Poolside. Tween with a 4-0-0 scoreline.
He just chilled into the finish there. It seems like the pressure just got to Spam at this map because he was expecting so much from himself because it was his pick.
And then you might start to wonder, like, okay, going into the next map now, we're going to Icy Snake. And this one was picked by Tween, I believe. No, not Tween. This was picked by Binkss, who's already qualified. So Binkss not really getting the most of his map pick, but how would this now shake up for the other players? Is there a map they'd rather want? Because this one is tricky. We know Spam is pretty good on it. I'm not sure how he's gonna hold up against bren and Tween though.
I feel like on this map we've seen almost everybody drive it really well. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I'll guess we'll kind of see on pace in this first round. Tween going for an inside the tree there. Looks like that gives him a better line, but a little bit less speed.
And it did balance out here. Spam with the fastest start. bren a little behind, only 1700ths of a second. But we know that this is usually decided in the mid part and in the ending. The mid part being the loop here. You want to go wide on this turn. Spam with a small mistake. Go wide here, get a lot of speed before the loop, and Tween, you can see him going further and further away, and after the loop, that gap is even bigger now. It's 0.14, Spam about 0.6 behind, and this is just a nice lead to have. This means you can afford a little bit of a safer ending. But bren is not going to hold anything back. I think bren is going all in for this one. Wide setup important, and Tween with the best setup before the ice. bren with the best slide though. Bren's going to cancel earlier, set up earlier, and he will have the upper hand for the last turn. Tween can only hope bren will make a mistake, but bren will take the first round here. 1:08.88, a good time, half a second away from the world record for Mudda.
Bren had a beautiful last ending on those ice slides. He really showed himself on this one. If he can keep this up, maybe we will have another just plow through this map where bren gets the finalist and gets his first point.
The thing about that ice is it snowballs so hard. If you get a really good first turn, like wide setup, early turn into the turn, you can set up early for the next one and the next one after that, and it's just you build a lead that way. You can pretty early on tell who has the best chance at winning, but you still have to get the exact correct angle. If you don't know the ice slides in Trackmania, it can be very tricky because you turn into the turn and then you counter steer. Once you counter steer, you can never undo that. You have committed to the turn and you have to just hope you have the correct angle at that point.
Yeah, and it's all about releasing the correct amount to have the good line into the ice slide. If you oversteer or if you don't release enough, you will slide out and there's nothing you can do at that point.
Yeah, so let's see how they handle it here. Gonna steer in and then counter steer here. bren with a perfect turn just about. Look at that early setup now. Into the next one. Spam holding up close though. bren with a later setup. Will Spam take this one? Bren with the inside slide. That's gonna be bren all the way in. 1:08.79. Another good winning time, and bren is looking good here.
Bren is flexing his ice skills on this one. That is some impressive ice sliding.
It's just he commits at the perfect time. I mean, you can see half the wheels are off, but the correct amount of pixels stay on the ice surface, and with that, 2 rounds now, back to back. And as Spam, he has to wonder, like, last round he won almost 2 maps ago. How does this make you feel after so many failed attempts? How can you turn the tide almost of the match? Because at this point, bren and tween have a psychological advantage. They have, you know, this feeling that they can win.
But I will say, as you mentioned, Spam has been in this competition or in this industry for a long time. He has a lot of experience in this. So I believe he does not let it get too much into him. I think he can come back and get the points he needs.
He will have to do it soon because the others are running away with it here. All 3 are going into the fight on the ice. Who will get the best setup this time? Looks to be Spam as he can turn in quick here. Tween also a little bit behind. Not with the best line. Will bren try to challenge with the inside approach? Spam is going to hold. And finally, you have to imagine he can relieve himself and say, yes, I can fight for this. 3 more to go.
Yes, finally he got that point. He's only 1 point behind bren. Bren only needs 1 more point though to get into that finalist mode. He will probably really fight for that one.
Yeah, indeed. And he is driving the fastest. Like, the time bren won with is still the fastest. 108.79. The world record 108.34 by Mutta that we'll see next week in play. But for now, if you want to get there, 108.79 will certainly do. That's a great time. And then you'll have to fight against the very best. Can he keep up here in the early stages? We know the ice. He has been almost perfect, but no, a mistake there is costly on the no steering block. Tween ahead of Spam before the ice now.
Tween must really want to get that point again. He already have a overall 1 big point. He just need to win 1 more map, and then he will actually be with Binkss in the top 2.
And on the ice now, we go again. We can see Tween earlier set up for the second turn, but will that be good for him? He's too angled, has to turn the car around more before the next turn. That costs a lot of time, and Spam will take that one. Back-to-back wins here for Spam. And now the momentum of the match might shift in his favor.
Yeah, it seems like Spam has a very good momentum. Maybe he can get the first finalist and actually get himself a point after losing his own pick.
I think a lot hinges on this round, really, because this is where you sort of really get a good flow if you win. If bren wins here, he sort of denies the comeback of Spam. If Tween wins, he puts himself into the mix. If Spam wins, he's saying, yeah, I'm back for real now. We are not letting this one go. A lot at stake here. bren, bad speed after that turn, had to release to avoid the wall. How much can you carry out of the dirt? How wide can you turn here before the no steering block? All 3 players will make it. Looks like Spam has better speed than bren, but Tween way ahead of both of them. Great pace in front by Tween as we exit the dirt now. Very important to take this outside turn, get all the speed and use the gravity of the downhill to build even more speed. Crazy concept there being executed. It's Tween ahead of bren on the ice. Bren sliding in early. Oh my god, what an ice slide from bren. This is finalist material. Can Spam match it? He will not be able to snipe this one away. Bren taking another one. bren now 1 run away.
He went so risky there, almost clipping the edge of the ice, but the risk paid off and he will get the first finalist. Can he get this last point and actually secure himself the big point?
Yeah, no, that was masterful. It's really beautiful to watch because you're like, it looks so sketchy to us, and it probably is for them as well, but they know exactly how much they can afford to do, right? How far they can afford to push it. And they know when they are overstepping their limits. They know the rules of the map, and yet they try because they have to gain the necessary time. bren now, big mistake there. He is going to be half a second behind the other 2. And here's Spam. If he wants to keep up with bren, he really needs this win. This might be a knockout. Tween half a second ahead. If it's 0.75, he has a chance to knock out the others. There's going to be one checkpoint here. He has to hope the split is more than 75. It's 74. There will not be a knockout. He has to survive the ice, and we've seen him be very shaky in this part. Specifically, look at the speed difference. Bren is catching up. Bren with the inside approach might beat Tween on the ice here. He is stronger on this surface. Look at the turns from Bren. He's really making this comeback happen. Tween is collapsing, and Bren wins Icy Snake with a beautiful ending.
You would think that win would be free for Tween, but that just shows even if you just hit the wall a tiny bit, you should not give up because anything happened.
Yeah, that was a crazy comeback, but it's just showing his strengths right there, Bren. That is a map. Why didn't they pick that earlier? That looked like it was clearly his best map.
Oh wow, but it was picked by Binkss, wasn't it? And Binkss is already in the final, so maybe like Binkss would have beat everyone on that one.
There is a chance. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. We'll never know.
Yeah.
But Bren makes the most of it right there, and he gets one win on the board. Now we're on launch pad. We know Tween is fast here with the ending line. We also know that Bren picked us in the very first round. The final 9
that is true.
Was his choice. So, well, we'll just have to see how they stack up now. But Tween is a man to look out for.
Yeah, and both Tween and Bren now has one big point, so they only need to win one more map.
Oh, spam into the checkpoint, spams out of it. Tween hitting the wall before the ice. That's very costly as well. But as you said, never give up. You have to continue, because there is a chance your opponent will blunder, and then you're right back in it. Here, the roles are reversed. It is Bren ahead of Tween, but Tween has a good ending. Though that might be too costly, and now we will really get to see the knockout mechanic. That's one checkpoint secured for Bren. That is 2, and there is a third one right here. Bren will win by knockout, and he gets the first point on the map.
Wow, we actually got to see a knockout win.
When the round is too far apart like that, 75 hundredths is the gap. That is too big of a gap to make it an interesting round in Trackmania. How crazy is that?
Oh wow, yeah, it doesn't seem like that much. It's not even...
It's not a second.
It's not even a second, but it really... Like, it's a lot when it comes to this high of a professional level.
Yeah, like gaining 1 second on your opponents is just never gonna happen. Spam into the wall in the second round, and we could quickly have another knockout, because one big crash here is all it takes to lose more than 75 hundredths.
I think the pressure is really getting to Spam at this point. He knows he's the only one that doesn't have one map win. Maybe it's just too much for him, or we could see a comeback.
And I mean, the only way to prolong a match is to win. If the others win, that's the finals. That's the finals decided.
Yeah.
The top 2 advance. And Binkss is waiting for whoever wins this match. Bren ahead of Tween now, but we gotta put the camera on Tween. Tween has a special end line. He goes way wide. This looks so weird, right? But guess what? He's coming right back. No, never mind. He misses the reactor booster. Will Bren catch up? No. Tween still wins, despite missing the ring there.
He had enough speed to actually still win, even though he missed the ring. That just shows how good of an ending Tween has.
Yeah.
Even without the ring.
And if you get the ring, you get a reaction boost, you get even more speed.
Yeah. Wow. We see Tween actually doing a good start on this map. He has shown to be very fast on this. Maybe he can win this and secure himself the other spot in the final.
Yeah, but Spam now 2 quick crashes in the first 2 rounds. Finally, he has survived the start of the map. Now onto the ice. He keeps up with the others. Better exit here, perhaps an earlier landing with a better setup for the reactor. He has to drift to get through the turn, but more speed, and he's gonna make it an even race here. Bren a little wide. More speed here for Spam and Tween, who are getting closer, but all eyes on Tween in the end. If Tween gets to the ending here on par with the others, the winning chances are heavily in his favor, and he has a great chance at it here with Bren crashing. He just needs to execute this line. Going early now through the ring this time. This could be a very fast time. Tween 2 rounds in a row, 1:04.698. That is half a sec, 0.3 away from the world record.
Wow, Tween is really showing off on this map. Very clean, very fast. He just need 1 more point, and he got finalist.
Yeah, and I mean 2 more rounds and he's in the finals. Top 2.
Actually, is those 2 next rounds. Is the pressure gonna get to him, or is he gonna get a clean win on this map?
Oh, this time it is closer than ever. All 3 players got about an even start here. Now, Tween wider before the ice. We know ice is not his strong suit. This is where it's so important for him to just stay level with the others. The exit here, awkward for Tween. He stays in it though. And with good speed here before the grass, bren is falling behind. And he now only has to beat out Spam in the ending to secure a 3rd in a row. On Launchpad, we saw him dominate here in the final 6. Here, more speed than Spam into the ending section where we know he is the strongest player. We know he can do this. He just needs to execute it right now. Once again, when it matters most, but he hits the ring. And Spam, awkward approach. Bren, awkward approach. Bren will take this one when the dust settles.
Oh, when it matters the most. Like, the pressure got to him. He hit the first ring. He knew he was so fast at the ending, and that is when he crumbled. But he still has a chance.
It's still not over, but now, you know, Bren is a lot closer than he was before. Only 2 rounds away from winning the match. You trip up twice, and that could be it. That could be your chance at the finals next weekend. Gone. So this is no more room for mistakes. No time for caution either. This is when you have to step up to the level of competition, drive within 0.3 of a world record, and really go all in the end without crashing.
Yeah, but Tween doesn't have the biggest or the best start here. Spam is keeping up more than he has in the previous rounds. Maybe Spam can get his first point, but Bren has shown to be very fast on this ending section as well.
I think Tween would be a lot easier if Spam is able to snipe Bren in the ending here. Bren though, 1 jump away from finalist. Spam with a bit of a tilt here. This could be very awkward for the ending. The car's gonna tilt so much up that he might miss. And is Tween gonna get close? No, Tween has crashed. That would be very awkward if Tween didn't crash the ending.
Oh wow. Yeah, Spam really went Monka steer on the ending there, so sideways, had to save himself, but he managed to do it and got himself a point. I imagine Tween was happy that Bren touched the wall there.
Yeah, for sure, because that could have been, you know, do or die at that point. But yes, 1 small mistake like that, now at this point, and it could be decided.
Very weird.
This is going to cost him a lot because the approach is weird. Great. Oh no, too early ice slide. Tween had to cancel early. The others will get further away here. More speed. So Tween once again, perhaps too far away. This time half a second. And Bren looks like he's going very fast up front. Now a 10th ahead of Spam. 5 tenths ahead of Tween. Side by side now before the ending. And I don't think Bren is going to crash that corner once more.
No.
This is coming down to the jump here between Spam and Bren. But
he
no!
did crash the corner again!
Oh, that is unheard of. Spam. No tilt this time, and he's going to make it a level match with a 2-2-2 here.
I imagine he is hitting the table of frustration over that 1 single corner. They're now all equal.
Yes, you
It
wouldn't
can go to
believe
anyone. You would think that with Tween getting the first 2-pointer, he would just take it home, but he did not, and they're now all equal.
And you have to guess, what does this do to your mental? You've crashed that corner 3 times by going too early. You know you're committing too early, and you do it again, and it's like, it feels almost like a mental barrier. You know, you cannot get over that. How do you correct this? You don't have time to warm up, you don't have time to practice. You have to go with what you know, go with your feeling, and try to make the most of it. So Bren, he has to adapt on the spot now. He knows, I have to steer later, and he has a bit of a gap to do it with. This is a huge lead. 0.3 out of Spam, 0.5 ahead of Tween. Could make his first finalist attempt. He just needs to get the car past the corner for once and for all. We need to see this drift.
Please. He can't. Oh, we went safe.
He hesitated,
so
but it's good
safe.
enough. Just needs to get the jumps now, and Bren will safely get into finalist mode. with a 104.49.
Luckily, he had such a good lead. He was so fast, so he could actually save that corner.
You could tell it was like,
Like
yeah,
he
we're
was
gonna,
like, oh, okay, it's okay. You could tell on his car he was stressed about it. But it must feel so nice to finally get that finalist tag.
One more round for Bren, and he would make it through. The others now know that they have to deny him. This is when you gotta drive faster than Bren, or else the match is over. Bren won a map earlier, now just this to go between. 2 rounds away, Spam. 2 rounds away from making it, you know, all equal again. He could deny all these wins from mattering, but it is Bren with more speed. Now though, Tween has a chance in the ending. He is close enough that his line could reel him back in. Just needs to not let this gap get any bigger. And knowing the troubles Bren has had with the upcoming corner, Tween probably is going to gain here, as Bren not fancying to risk this down. If I imagine this time, Bren is getting a little bit further away. Tween though, I think he hit this line just like he wanted to. Early steal here. Will it be Bren or will it be Tween? Bren will win, and Bren is going to join Binkss in the finals for a French 1 versus 1.
It looked like Tween had such a good line there, but
it really looked good, but Bren holds
just
it.
had too much. He had so much speed. He had so much speed. It's Binkss and Bren.
Showed up here just when it mattered. He clutched in the ending. Some would say he pulled a Wirtual. Some would say he didn't.
You had to.
But regardless, that is the final 4. We have the final 2 coming up in just a couple of minutes versus between Bren and Binkss.